Hi, welcome back to Joanna's DIY Life. I am so glad you are here. This is a Sew It Saturday, and I found this beautiful fabric at the Dollar Tree, and I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with it, but I do now. I'm going to be making these mug rugs and this large mug rug, which I call a mini placemat. So if you've been following me any length of time, you know that I like coasters. So I was trying to make some bigger coasters because I have a bigger cup. When I drink coffee, I have a big mug. And I made this, which you can do, but to me it looks like a pot holder, and I do not like it. I mean, I love the sunflowers, but I didn't like these, okay? But I did make a pattern, and they're 6 by 6, and I didn't like that either, and I didn't even finish it because I didn't like it, okay? But that's quilted on both sides. You may like that, I don't know. But it's 6 by 6, and then you separate a piece and add a 1/2 inch to each side, and that's how you get this little piece right here. I did come up with something that I do like, okay? I took this piece and I made me a 6-inch round circle. Now these are mug rugs, okay? I am also going to be making, they call it a giant mug rug. To me, I call it a mini placemat. And it's because I eat at a little side table at the couch most of the time, a lot of time. Shame on me. But anyway, so that's what I'm going to be doing too, and it's a self-binding mini placemat or giant mug rug. So if y'all don't have one of these, I linked one in my Amazon store. This is a game changer. It is micro small, but I trace all my patterns out on the boards, comic book boards that people get for folding fabric, okay? It's real thick. Let me see if this will fit. Yep, it'll fit. Now you can trace it out. You're going to need your fabric and your batting, and this was just I'll tell you what this is. I'll lay my measurements out right here, okay? This top piece is a 4 by 5 by 6, and this end is a 6 by 2.5, okay? So I'll lay them up here. You can copy them. That'll be the top, and it comes out being a 6 by 6, okay? So that's what that ends up being, and then you'll have your 6 by 6 square, okay? So sorry about that. This main thing is a 6 by 6 when you get done sewing it. But like I said, I didn't like it. This is a 6-inch circle, and I do like it. I love it. So I'm going to use this that I already had. Now you can put it out on your batting if you want to, and then cut that out here. But I must have snagged my fingernail. I'm just going to put it on here, and I want more of this than I do of this. So I'm going to set it here. Now you can trace around it, but like I said, this thing right here is a game changer. And this goes on top of this, okay? Now I tried basting spray on one of them. It did not work. I had no success at that. So I'm going to spread that out, and you do need batting for moisture. Felt, anything like that will work. But anyway, this is going to be my front. Now you don't want to quilt your back to your front because you won't be able to flip it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some pins in this, and I'm going to put them all the way around. I don't want no shifting, okay? Actually, I'm not going to put them around. I'm going to do the quilting part first. So I'm just going to put my pins in here randomly so that it's not shifting. Now you can put this on here and quilt it before you even cut it out. I done that earlier. That's totally up to you. I'm just going to put 2 pins in there. Now I'm going to go to the machine and I'm going to show you how I quilt it, okay? So this is my little singer my husband bought me a while ago. I think last year. And if you know anything about vintage machines, if you just leave them sitting, they kind of freeze up or stiffen up. So I've been working on this all day, and this is what I'm going to be sewing with today because I need to have it running, okay? You will not find a better top stitch machine than this little guy. I think it looks like a World War something, I don't know. So I call it Little Bomber is what I call it. It's a 185J, okay, and it came from local Clarksville from I don't know when, but I didn't even know they had a shop back then because this was made in St. John's, Canada. That's why it has a J. Some are brown and they were made somewhere else, but this was made in 1954 to 1961, and it's the cousin to the Singer 99. Anyways, this is what I'm going to be sewing on. I just wanted to show y'all. I think you can see now. I had to shut my light out. But I'm just going to go and I'm going to start on the edge, okay? And I'm just going to do lines about 1 inch apart. So here we go. Make sure you hold this tight because, you know, you could put more pins in. You don't want this shifting or it won't come out right. But you don't want to hit your needle with a pin. So I'm going with this line right here on the edge, kinda, and I'm just going to go straight down. No need to back stitch, okay? It'll be sealed in. So then, after I got that first initial one in, I'm going to go over about 1 inch or so, and I'm going to remove this pin, and I'm just going to go again. I'm going to do this all the way across. Now, you want to make sure you clip all your threads because you don't want them lagging around, okay? And I'm going to trim this close. It's the batting. I'm going to even it up and make sure everything is straight. Make sure you don't cut your little doodad when you're doing this. Now, I already had these cut because, like I said, I was previously going to do the other one until it looked like a stupid pot holder. So I'm going to put this down, make sure my stripes are right, okay? And I am just going to right side to right side, okay? And I'm just going to put pins around this. So now I'm going to go over here and I'm going to stitch right around this edge. Okay, make sure that on one of the sides, and I want to do it right here, you leave at least a 1 inch opening because I always go too stinking small and can't turn my pieces. But make sure you remove your pin. You don't want to hit your pins, okay? And you're just going to go around, making sure that you have a little bit of that white showing on the other side of your foot. This is a skinny little foot here. So you want to make sure that, you know, see my width there. Okay, now we're going to go cut our fabric and flip it inside out. So when I cut around it, I made sure that I left a little edge so it could tuck under. Now I'm just going to use the edge of my presser foot. Everything is ironed, pressed in, looks great. And I am going to start where the opening is to make sure I get it shut. But I'm just going to top stitch all the way around, sealing off the thing and making that top stitch. Just beautiful. So these are the pieces for the mini placemat or the giant mug rug, whatever you want to call it. And you need an 11 by 14, one for the backing and the binding. Then you'll need a 9 by 9 and a 9 by 4. This is the main, this is the contrast, which is usually what you use for the back. So you'll need one of each of those and one of your batting. Okay, so let's start cutting our pieces. Isn't this gorgeous? Okay, so this is the batting I use. I like to use cotton batting. I think I got this at Joann's or Walmart. You can get it at anywhere, any craft store. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this out. I'm going to steam it. Hold on. No, that's better. I didn't iron it. I just steamed it. Okay, so this is the batting. So I'm just going to place this down here. And I am going to trim it out. Hopefully I can do this right this time with this little blade. You can mark it on here and cut it with scissors if you want. This is just easier for me since I learned how to do it. See how easy it is? Now I just got to trim it up a little bit. Now you have two options. You can cut one solid piece, or you can do the two. I'm going to do the two. So that calls for one of these fabrics right here. You want to pre-wash your fabrics. I did not have time, or I would have, but you really need to. And the reason we're cutting this so big is because we have to sew these together with a half inch seam. Now we're going to cut out your contrast. Okay, let me set them to the side. Make sure you're going the right way. So I'm just going to cut out one of these. Now you're going to take your backing. You're going to cut out one big backing. Make sure none of the rest of your fabric is under here, okay? So first thing you want to do in all this mess is make sure this is the right side it's supposed to be. Then I want to sew this onto this side, okay? And I'm going to be using a 1/2 inch seam. Now I know on my machine the number 4 is the 1/2 inch. So all I'm going to do is line this up on the 4 and just do my 1/2 inch seam. Now it's a pretty wide seam. I hope you can see that. But I've done that because when I press it, I'm going to press this open. That way it lays flatter. Okay, so I'm going to go iron this open. Now I've got this ironed open. And I'm going to place this on here. And it should line up pretty good. You know, I've never done any of these before. But it looks good to me. I made these measurements up because they said you can make them any way you want them. So I made my own measurements because, you know, that's the way I wanted it. Now you're going to take your backing and you're going to lay it the right way, okay? And then you're going to take this and you're going to even this up in the middle as best you can, all right? Now if you go by lines on any stripes, you're going to be messed up because nothing is ever cut straight at all. But just line this up as best you can, as even as you can, and then pin this down. Now I tried basting spray, but that didn't really work for me. So I'm just going to pin it, and I'm going to be pinning it because we're going to quilt the top of this, the front and the back. The reason why you do that is because your batting will get wadded up in there if you don't quilt it down. So that's why we're putting in, you know, quilting lines. Now you can make diamonds, you can go this way, you could do whatever you want. I'm going down because I'm keeping it simple. You can also add a piece here to, more trim to make it more decorative, whatever you want to do. It's your business. I'm just showing you the basics and showing you mine. You don't want to go past here. You'll start here and then stop wherever. But, this was getting shorter, so I had to turn it around and start sewing from this end. You have to flip-flop it. Sew part of them this way, then flip it, and then sew some, and then flip it, and then sew some. That keeps it from shifting and getting out of whack. Now I am just going to take, I got this at the Dollar Tree, y'all, I love it. And I am going to pull all my strings out. That makes them easier to see. And I can cut them. Okay, now this is the binding part, okay? I'm going to do one side, which will be the top, and I'm just going to fold this under. Now it gets a little slim down here. So, and I'm going to iron this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it, iron it, and then flip it up like that right there, okay? And that's how I'm going to sew this on. And I'm just going to do the bottom, and then I'm going to do the top, and I'll do the sides after I sew these two. So that's what I'm going to do. When I get these ironed, I'm just going to top stitch right along that top edge. Now, if this is what it looks like now, if you have any overhang, snip that off. That's why I don't do both at the same time. So always have a little hang on the side. Okay, and then there's that. Trim my strings. Now I'm going to do the same thing to this side. I'm going to fold up, and iron, and then sew my sides in, and we're done. And here is what it looks like all stitched up. And it's so stinking cute. I've got room for my coffee or my drink, and then I'm a soup lover, so I'd have a little cup of soup over here or whatever, but makes a good little placemat or hot pad for your soup or whatever. So anyways, there you go. And here's what they look like with my favorite soup mug, my favorite tea cup, and my favorite coffee cup. This is going to be really cute. And just to think, this was all made with a Singer 185J vintage sewing machine. Well, if you like that video, please give me a thumbs up, consider subscribing to my channel, and ring that bell to be notified every time I upload a video. I want to give a shout out to Miss Connie Reed. She subscribed, or whatever you did, downloaded Fetch through my code, and we both got points, and I want you to know, Miss Connie, that I sure appreciate that. With all that being said, you are a blessing. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.